The son from after using LSD, and there was just kind of a, something that just made them really want to stare at it. I'll give you a couple articles that I printed up, and you can take those with you if you want to look at them.
Solar retinopathy from sun gazing under the influence of LSD. I need to research these people and like contact them. Be like, I'll take acid and look at the sun and you watch what happens. The sun had the significance of God to him and a religious experience occurred. But then he realized the eye damage had occurred and he was examined the following morning. He noticed blurred vision, difficulty reading and all that. I mean, if you want to call it difficulty reading. When I took acid, it wasn't about seeing crazy visuals. I didn't really like hallucinate, see all this crazy stuff that people, say they see. For me, it's just a really heightened state of awareness. Everyone will sun gaze. And doctors will be like, well, maybe I should have listened to the people who actually know what they're talking about. Yo, can I go?
Yeah.
I'll totally get an eye exam.
Thank you. You're very welcome. Okay. Take care. Have a good weekend.
Dr.
how are you?
Bornstein.
Nice to meet you.
Good. Tell me a little bit about sun gazing.
It's usually about 10 to 20 minutes that I'll go outside and do it. And throughout that time, the total amount that I spend looking directly at it is probably about 5 minutes. So I probably do that every day.
Do you usually stare directly?
Sometimes I can. I can, and it doesn't hurt my eyes. But I don't usually stare directly into it.
Okay, that's significant. You're not someone who's ever sat there and stared at the sun for 20 minutes or 30 minutes or anything like that.
No.
It sounds more like sky gazing rather than sun gazing. When we're talking about someone who has damage, we're talking about someone who, and we can certainly do the examination and see. You should be careful when looking directly at it,
Okay.
in case no one's ever told you that.
No, they have. TZVECL.
Just put a very weak dilating drop in so I can look at the back of your eye. Let's take a look. Look at my ear over here.
Mm-hmm. That light looks so cool.
Thank you. No, I don't see any damage in either eye. I don't think she's done anything too crazy. That sounds more like sky gazing than sun gazing for the most part. Okay, she should be careful, but in terms of the retina, I'm glad to report that I don't see anything bad. So, you're sunlightened but not sun damaged.
I still consider what I do to be sun gazing. Sky gazing's fun too, but it's kind of the same thing, I think. It's definitely hard to look at right now. Look how big they are. I can't even make out the circle in the sun. All I can see is I don't know, piercing blindness.
Before you think that I'm perhaps demonizing Hiramanik and the 6 or 7 other Indian gurus who've come to the Western world claiming that sun gazing is great and sun gazing is suitable for everyone, and they appear at every little yoga center across the US and Canada and every little New Age festival saying sun gaze, and that is so far from my approach, God. But they are hardly alone. Look at every single major institutionalized religion and take a deep look at some of their theology and some of their practices and some of their claims, and it gets pretty wild pretty fast. Being a New Ager and going to all these silly seminars is really no worse than going to Blockbuster and renting a bunch of videos, or being a devout devotee of any of the mainstream religions and going to church on Sunday or Saturday, whatever it is they claim.
This method is the only method which is totally cost-free, master-free or guru-free. In all other methods, some involvement of money is there. Somebody has to guide you, somebody has to take care of you, somebody has to teach you.
So if I'm asked to create some kind of weird new invention or weird new device, and by the way, when I say invention, I don't necessarily mean anything that I would ever market to other people, just for my own use, or something perhaps that I would eventually sell or make available to just a few other strange science researchers or other mystics.
Well, one of the really great things that I bought from him that I totally love is this quantum coherence device. I noticed that since I got that device, the plants and animals are happier in my vicinity and they like this area better. So to me, that is worth the, just that alone, whether I noticed any effect or not, is worth the $600 or $700 that I paid for it.
And she's very elderly, so she's a little feeble, but of all of our cats, she's by far the most sociable and social.
Did you show them the radioactive water?
I didn't bother, I don't want to explain that on film. No, it gets too weird.
Radioactive water? I'm curious.
No, the jug over on the mantle, no, we're not going to get into it on film. No, we're not. Like a lot of people who are into radiation nutrition, I deliberately drink water that has a very, very high radon count. There are tons of websites where people talk about, where you can go to learn how to build your own radon water jug, so you can have your own radon water dispenser in your home, so you can drink radioactive water with a very, very high radon count whenever you want. And anyway, that's just one of my many interests. I also have been approached over the years by a number of women from around the world, and for some reason they always end up sending photos, and they always turn out to be beautiful. One woman, she kept asking for permission to come out and visit me, and was having to have some kind of relationship. Oh, she was a funny one. She was like, if you're not in a relationship, I would love to be your lover. And she said, if you are, I'd be happy to even be your sex slave and live in the basement. And I was like, no thanks.
They observed me, they took a lot of MRIs. Now they are going back on certain things. They do agree that they observed me, but they don't speak certain things because they have not published any report. It is their fault. It is not my fault. They are on the wrong side. I am not on the wrong side.
So do you miss your family when you go on tour?
No, because this is my mission in life now.
Do they miss you?
No.
No?
They all accept what I am doing.
Do you ever miss India?
No, I never miss, because to me everything is same.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Divine lover, extend your arms of infinite length towards my being, and make love to our aligned vibration. Birthed from the womb of your inner light, I am the sunchild who sits under your tree, praying to the colors that feed your innermost desires. You, sun, have recreated my perception, adored my senses, and loved me always. The eternal now is determined, and it remains ours to share forevermore. My well-being is always improved, and that's what's the most important. I'm really interested in investing in my well-being and my future, and that's what I'm doing. We should go sun gazing. Let's do it.
Sun gazer, sun gazer, sun gazer. Sunrise, sunset, sun gazing at its best. Ancient art, modern quest. Cells are charged, incandescent. Every day, sun rays quicken the earth nest. Each night, moonlight recycles all the rest.